And yeah, all right, here we go. Story time. All right. Now,
Ooh.
this story, I feel like Mac knows some bits and pieces of it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because I've said this a few times, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, I've said some bits and pieces, like I said, but here we go. So, if you tuned in back September with my cousin Kyle, he was here. We basically told the story of this crush that I had back in high school. And
Okay, okay.
TLDR, basically, this story surrounded to where like I didn't know she had a sister, and I accidentally met my crush's sister at the coffee shop that he used to work at, and things just got awkward because I did not know she had a sister, and etc etc etc, right? So
Mm-hmm,
I basically got embarrassed and all that. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and like talk about about this full thing, all right? So
Okay.
all right, so just literally just talking about this now, I feel like it's a little like stupid because of like my thought process. So
Mm-hmm,
just picture me. I'm in high school, low self esteem,
mm-hmm.
and this girl just caught my eye, and she was cute, and I wanted to go ahead and try to do something to impress her, and etc. And eventually, then, I actually started being friends with her, and this was like around starting in like sophomore year when I started like I became best friends with Hugo and a couple other.
Gonzalez?
No, not Hugo Gonzalez, but
I'm
no, it's okay,
sorry.
it's okay, it's okay. Sometimes, a side note, I actually sometimes call him Hugs out of nowhere.
Ah, nice.
All right, but anyways, but if you guys remember Hugo, he was in that story that I told I think last Saturday, or it was 2 Saturdays ago, where I told him where like I told a story where his girlfriend came and surprised him at Applebee's and etc. If you were here for that, but yeah, so I started making friends and etc. And I started becoming friends with her. Just note, this is in sophomore year. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking back at it. It's so stupid. It's like literally my thought process was so stupid. There was eventually then I started having like deep, deep feelings for this person, for this girl, like
Okay,
deep feelings, like
okay,
to
okay.
where it was like where it was like it was just like
Damn, I need you right now.
yeah, pretty much, all right. And
Mhm.
like I said, remember that, well, Mac wasn't here for it, but remember when I said that you should not wait to tell someone that you like them, or else it'll all go downhill?
Uh-oh.
That's exactly what happened here. My thought press
Uh-oh.
my thought process was throughout the years in high school, right? I
Mhm.
thought in my mind, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, make like just be her friend for now, and then eventually, then when we're like closer and closer and closer, I'll go ahead and try to shoot my shot.
Yeah, yeah.
That was basically it right there. Reminder: this isn't sophomore year, okay? This isn't
Mm-hmm,
sophomore year.
mm-hmm.
Eventually, then we started becoming closer and closer and closer. I did not tell her. I did not tell her about how I felt until senior year of high school,
Ooh.
which was a mistake nonetheless. So there was, like I said, that like when I'm trying to think of how I was back then, and I literally was like, you know what? It's been almost more or so 2 years. I had to at least like talk to her about it, and it's senior year of high school. We're all gonna get out of here in a few months. Like, I had to do something about it. So I'll be honest though, this was at a low this was at a point where my this was at a point in my life where it was like very low. Like I wasn't really like meant like I wasn't like basically for me, I'm not good with rejection, and I'm actually kind of like scared about that. So just thinking about it back then, it was like, you know, I gotta tell her, but I'm really scared of like what she could say, because if she says yes, it'll be the best feeling in the world. But if she said no, then I did all this shit these 2 years for nothing. You know?
Well, no, you made a good friend out of it.
Yeah. Mac. I'm talking about how I felt back then. Obviously, I'm trying to talk this as to like this was back then, you know.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was like, man, this is I gotta do something about it, you know. I gotta do something. So senior year of high school, and I remember there was this time we were basically in a school club together. We were in the same school club, and we had a Christmas party. It was close to Christmas break.
Ooh.
There was a Christmas party to where like, all right, this is where I gotta strike. And I told a few of my, I only literally off the top of my head, I only told like 3 people that I would be doing something on this day. You know, like I was all like, yeah, I don't know if I can live with not knowing how she felt or what. So I was like, I had to do something about it. So I said, all right, I got to do this before the year ends. So that was my ultimatum to me. I was like, I have to do this now. I have to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this was at a point in my life where I was like really doubtful of myself. Like I didn't know how to, because I never really did this, you know. So this was new to me. So looking back at it now, it's so fucking stupid. But I remember the night before, I was like talking to Hugo, and I told him how I felt, and it basically just, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I could do this, but I know if I do this, it's better. It's better for me, and she'll probably know, because who knows? I don't even know if she knows or not, you know. So, and just imagine, like, everyone in the circle knows, but she's the only one who doesn't know.
God damn.
Yeah. So imagine that. All right. So the day comes, and I'm here, and you know, well. Before that, I actually typed up something. I basically typed up how I felt, just in case I couldn't like get the feelings out, just in case I couldn't like talk it out, because I knew like moving up to it, I had like a plan going. Like if I couldn't do it, then I have to give her the letter, and etc. So the day comes, and the Christmas party, everyone's having fun, and etc. And there was a point where she wanted to go to her locker. So I was like, all right, this is it. This is basically it. This is my best shot right here. This is my best shot. There's absolutely no other way to do this. This is my best shot. All right. So, oh boy. So, she goes to her locker, and I basically go to her locker as well. And I basically said to her, hey, I'm not going to say her real name, of course, but
yeah.
Hey, blank, is it all right if I talk to you for a little bit? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. What's up? Literally, when she said that, I can remember, like, here's the thing, all right? Before I continue on, just know that you may think that this was not a huge moment, but it really was for me, because, like I said, it was at a moment in my life where I was like self-doubting myself a lot about her. So I was like, you know, I have to do this. And like I said, this was probably like one of the few times where I actually confessed my feelings to someone. So I was like, all right, fuck it, here we go. So, but once she went ahead and said what's up, I literally started inside right now. I immediately was like, this is no. I was like, I literally shut down. in my mind, I shut down. I shut down, and I immediately just went, if you could read this letter, like, if you could just do that, that would be great. And she said, what's this letter about? And I'm like, well,
Yeah, just read it.
Just read it, girl.
Just read it. So she immediately, she starts reading it, and immediately she knew what this was about. And I could see her face. Like, I remember, like, her face was like surprised. Like, she didn't. She was like, well, she didn't do that act. Like, I could tell just by her face. Like, she was like surprised, but maybe a little confused, I guess. So, let's see here. So she starts reading the letter. She starts laughing a lot, and etc. Basically, like, I told her like how I felt, all the memories we had, and etc. And I said, yeah, etc. etc. So she finishes the letter, and she says, "Aw, that was so sweet," and she hugs me, and then she breaks my heart.
So unfortunately, though.
So she basically told me, she basically said she can't, and I was like, why? And she basically told me a couple reasons, and I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't cry there, all right? Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Just
There.
wait. Just wait for it, all right? I didn't want to be a bitch, you know. I didn't want to do
Yeah.
that. I didn't
Yeah.
want to be a bitch right in front of her. So like, but like inside of me though, right? I was like, man, this
Eternally screaming.
yeah, basically. It was literally like that. So I went back. We both walked back to the party. Didn't really talk to each other. Like, we didn't really. And my best friend, Xandro, he was actually supposed to give us both rides back home. You know, to drop us back home.
Yeah.
So we start walking back, and I'm literally like in front, all alone. She's all back behind me, and etc. So we just walk. And Xandro actually had to go ahead and drop something off at Dunkin' Donuts because at the time he wanted to work. So he had to drop stuff off, basically leaving both of us alone.
Nice.
So literally immediately when Xandro went ahead and left the car, she immediately says, are you all right? I said no. I said no. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
No. I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like that. I was still all sad and whatever, but I literally just said no. Like, just no. That was it. That was it. So we started to easily just talk, like, away from what just happened. Xandro comes back, and we continue to just just talk until we drop her off. And then immediately when she enters her house no, wait. Immediately when she enters the house and Xandro turns around, and I was like, Xandro, do you know what just happened? And he was like, no, what just happened? So I started crying and crying. And if I could FaceTime Xandro right now, he could probably tell you right now, because he remembers the whole thing. He remembers the exact whole thing. And he said, whenever I decide to bring it up or whatever, he said that inside the car at that time, he could tell that something happened. He just didn't want to say anything, you know? So, long story short, I told someone how I felt, and it took a few years out of me just to man up and do something about it. And she said no. And I'll be honest, it did not did not it was not a quick thing. I could not get over it for a few months, and it was pretty freaking sad on my end. But eventually, then I honestly think she forgot about this whole thing. I'll be honest. She has a boyfriend now. She's happy. She's doing her own thing, which is great. But that is the story of how I told someone how I felt, but it took me a few years to go ahead and do something about it. Which I'm telling you, fellas or girls, do not hold on, wait. Do not wait to tell someone how you feel. You may think you're doing the right thing, but no. That's all I gotta say about that.
Damn.
By the way,
Zexil.
Zexil.
Yeah.
The person who I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
She did graduate in our class.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know if you know her, but I'll leave it at that.
Wait, I kind of want to know. Can you message me?
I'll DM you.
I bet.
But that is the story of how I eventually was like, alright, here we go.
He said, you know what?
Now Larlar jaded, and he doesn't want to talk to any more girls.
Huh? What? Hey.
I'm about to pour my heart out to like 20 girls.
Hey.
Now Larlar jaded. He already hadn't talked to a girl since.
No. Now I'm gonna go on Tinder.
God damn it.
You swiping, bro.
Here, look, Mac. Oh well.
Right, hold on. Okay, well, what's up?
No. Look at the stream.
Oh wait, hold on.
I'll wait until you're on it. But yeah, fellas, do not wait. Don't wait, or else it's gonna go immediately
Was
bad.
that a comma? Comma. Nick, why did they give me what? Why am I on mobile Twitch right?
Moral of the
Splatoon
Splatoon Smash bits put it perfectly. Moral of the story: don't wait to tell someone how you feel. Don't do it. If you tell them like sooner rather than later, it could turn out better for you. There was probably, if I'm thinking about it right now, there was probably a window where I probably should have told her.
Okay, I'm on the stream.
Look, Mac.
Scared.
Hey, look. This person's name is Hungry, and it's a cat.
God damn. Over here swiping.
Come on, Tracer, stop.
But yeah, guys.
After me.
That is the story right there.
Oh shit! My...